What up, what up? It's the Chief, Kaseek Ortiz.
Tyrant333, and this is Figure It the Fuck Out.
Yes, sir.
And we got another one. And I'm going to keep saying that for your boy LaRussell there. You know, I just, that song's been just hit me.
Got another one.
But that's a hit. And shout out to him. So, and he's probably going to be a good, a topic point for this episode. We're talking about artists competing with other artists on steroids, on pumped up through the roof. You know, like you just took the tire pump and just pumped them all the way fucking up full of gas.
And what's the steroids?
So just to give you the base stack, so artists compete against artists on steroids. We look at the steroids really as a number of different things. But just to give you the base of it, like artists, people, business people who just have a leg up. They have a no, maybe. They have something that you might not have. And it's not talking about talent either or wisdom. But we see people all the time that it doesn't seem maybe they have put their skin in the game or the work, but they're making what is perceived major moves or bigger moves than you might be making at the time. Not to watch the next man. I've actually tuned out of that. But if you just, looking at any industry, especially music, which we love to talk about here, you see people that, what do they call? Overnight sensations?
Yeah.
Industry plants.
Industry plants are a little bit difficult because there's so many that are talented. But when you talk about people like 6ix9ine, who's literally just a bum, not a bum, but, bitch ass on the streets, just doing nothing with his life, and then gets picked up by some random exec and it's just like, hey, I'm going to make you famous. And
you see people, one mixtape, one demo, shoot up to the top of the roof, it seems like. And that's really what we mean, artists on steroids. The steroids really being, a number of different things, but the steroids being the money. Yeah. Because that could be a vehicle for you.
A lot of these artists are assigned to record labels with unlimited budgets.
Unlimited cash. So picture what you can do with that. We actually talked about that in the previous episode. There's people with money and success that just came from that money. You can buy connections. You can buy promo. You can buy streams.
Yep.
You could buy your way into certain rooms, into certain situations with people. Yep. The guy with 100K in the bank, he might be able to pay for a feature with the biggest artist in your genre.
Your region.
And that's going to boost you up quicker than the guy who's been working just in the lab all day and never had that money.
They can do a whole buy-on of a leg of a tour or a whole region of a tour and pay for the best of the slot, so they're being shown to the best of the crowds.
You can pay the best promotion people, the best marketing people. You could, with the right money right now, we can get you on a billboard in Times Square. Right. And think about what that type of exposure does to you.
Right.
Compared to the dude who doesn't have any money or any capital.
And there's a lot of people that do that, exactly that, by getting a billboard in Times Square, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, there's that too.
There is that.
We say, showing up to the game with the Jordans and the nice Nikes, but you don't really got no skill.
You never played a game in your life, but you got the Jordans, the shirt, the clothing, the headband. You got the best new Wilson ball.
And eventually people will be able to sniff out if you're a baller or not.
Yep.
Right. Like the person who paid to get into the room, into that studio, into those connections, they get in there, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Those industry vets are going to know very quickly that this person is green. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think that separation normally actually comes from the fact that people have a good work ethic. You might not have all the talent, but if you have a solid work ethic, you're gonna be able to go. Or you have the gift of gab, solid work ethic. Wow, why can't I say that shit? But solid work ethic where you can actually be like, all right, if I do this, you just put all the money behind me and I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
And that's the steroids, is that us independent artists, we don't necessarily have, I guess, the budget or that bag right off of rip. If you're really an artist that's coming from the slums, coming out the mud, trying to get it, you normally don't really have it like that. That's why a majority of us, we can't get jobs or anything like that. So we end up hustling or finding different illegal activity ways to try to get the money that we need so we can actually fund we do a bunch of legal shit to do some legal business.
Yes. And see, with that even being said, you gotta be, it's always good, and I always preach this, to have a strong business acumen. Know what you're doing with business, because if you don't know what you're doing with business, then you're not gonna have the knowledge.
Right.
And you're gonna think that, like you said, I gotta get out into the streets to hustle.
Yeah.
And do this and do that. When there's people right now making legit money, making more money than half of these dudes are making it, maybe even 80% of these dudes are making in the streets without having to turn and look over their shoulder and worry about the get back that could be coming from all the stuff they're doing out in the streets.
They finally see some success, and then all of a sudden, here comes the raids, here comes the FBI, here comes the people trying to catch their lick back.
Exactly. So you're always like, you're working backwards at the end of the day, because all that money you make negatively like that is going to come back to bite you.
Yeah.
You're never really going to be able to get any real success unless you're smart and pivot and become some type of business, have some type of skill. What I always recommend every artist to do, and I always am preaching to this to Kaseek, is find a way that you can leverage your skills into something that pays you a high source of income. Once you do that, and you know how to leverage your credit and become a business, then all of a sudden you have access to way more funds, other OPM, other people's money, without having to do all those risks and take all those risks. The risks you're really taking are on the business side and the financial side. People are putting they're giving you a bag not to go sell a pack or go get on the block and do this. They're giving you a bag because they believe in your business mind. And they see that you have projections for your business. They see you have a business plan, and they see that you have a work ethic. So, you know, that's where the money could be a good, not even a steroid, it could be a good supplement if you have the right knowledge. Know about business credit, know about personal credit, know about, there's people 40,000 who can leverage that, making 40,000 a year, leverage that, they have great credit into getting financing for different things and finance your own music career, become your own bag. But like you said, there's a lot of people who just don't have that knowledge.
They don't.
Even though that's out there, you come from a poverty mindset, you're gonna be thinking, all I got, man, is to go move these packs on the corner. You know,
these packs, I gotta do it. I got, 6 brothers and sisters I gotta help feed. My father's not in the picture, my mother's not in the picture.
It's a quick payout, but it's not sustainable.
Not sustainable, and it is short-lived. Like you were saying, like that shit can still come back to bite you in the ass. Doesn't mean it always 100% for sure is gonna come back to bite you in the ass, but usually if you get it negative, it's gonna come back to you in that same form. That yin and yang. There's only a few of us that have been able to slide under that radar where it's just actually worked for people.
And now let's go into that. That's the next part of the steroid battle here. So artists dropping music, they're not doing any promo, which is, I think you already know my thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But they're not doing any promo, and they expect to just go platinum against artists who are in with the labels. They got relationships or whatever.
They have steroids. They're on labels with unlimited budget.
Got a limited budget, and they're on top of that, they're allowed to do streaming fraud. They're allowed to just run up the streams.
The record label has a partnership or shares within a Spotify or other DSPs where they're able to be like, yo, we're going to do it this way. We're going to run these streams up with these frauds. They can already maybe do 100,000, but let me give them another 100,000 that's fake streams. Nobody's going to really notice because they can already do 100,000 themselves.
We already got Spotify in our back pocket, so we can make this shit happen, no problem.
Oh yeah, by the way, while we do this, I want you to also flag these independent artists because they caught onto our wave of what we're doing.
They're trying to do it and run it up on their own. We don't got contracts with these people. We don't got skin in the game with these people. They didn't sign away half their music to us. Okay, so make sure they're gone. The people that we got on the radar, make sure we'll keep running them up, making them look real good. And fuck the rest of the people. So that's where it's like artists, a lot of artists don't even know that right there.
They don't.
They're thinking that they're, like you said, they're doing street shit, negative shit to attain their money, but then they want to play it righteously when it comes to promoting their music.
And then all of a sudden now they act like they're holier than thou. They're holier than thou. So they're like, yo, you can't promo your music. You can't do this. That's
organic this, organic that, which like, to them really means you don't put $1 in marketing.
Right. you didn't even get your money organically anyways.
Yes.
Like
you're cheating the system with the scamming or the sitting on the block,
constantly
whatever you're doing.
A shortcut. You try to find a shortcut to fast money, a shortcut to success, And then all of a sudden, when you get into the game, now you can't shortcut your own music. Or if you do try to shortcut your own music, you end up finding out very quickly, like we said, these people that are on steroids, these labels have their backhand pockets with Spotify, and everybody's got baby oil rubbing like against each other, sliding, doing a whole bunch of slick shit behind your back. But as soon as you try to get slick,
and you're playing it righteous. You're playing it righteous. And Kaseek, on the other hand, is a dude who just puts in the work. He puts in the hard work. He figures out how he can do it the best as possible without getting as much help.
Yeah.
But then even when you dive in and look at the stuff and look at the analytics and start building some of these relationships, you realize like business is cutthroat, baby. You know, like it can be and it can't be. But when you're talking about the music industry, a lot of that shit is cutthroat. And these people got big money, like you're saying, and they got shit locked in place.
For the artists, it's really difficult because what we'll do is, because we're going against, or, you know, trying to put out music, and you are looking at the Drakes and the Kendricks and the this and the that, and I'm not saying these people are using them, but you start looking at it and you're kind of thinking like, okay, well, if I only have 5 views on my song, nobody's going to click it. But if I have 1 million views on my song, people are going to be like, yo, why is this guy I never heard this guy before. Why has he got 1 million? So they're more apt to click. Yeah, they're percepting of like, oh, this person has actually got traction, so let me click on it. And unfortunately, if your music's trash, they're quickly to be like, oh, you just botting bots. But then you still get it though if your music is good, and they're like, damn, you kind of did it shady. And then people are looking at you kind of funny like, oh, you did it this way to, I guess, deceive or trick people into listening to your music. But that's the thing though. Would you have clicked it if I only had 5 views?
And then, yeah, that's true.
I could be a super dope rapper. You know how many dope rappers are out there that they put out their first song or they put out their 10th album and they only got 30 views on it. And now you don't click on it. Nobody wants to click on it because like, oh, everybody's afraid to be the first subscriber or the first comment under the section, but be the first comment under the section on a Jay-Z's post saying happy birthday.
Yeah, because there's 1,000 other comments.
Yeah.
Or something.
Right.
Like, people see that type of virality and feel like, all right, this is like a community chat. Like we can go in here and just fucking talk, and people might not even get to my fucking comment.
Right.
You know? So that type of engagement is different. But okay, so now we talked about all that. We talked about the labels, the money, and all that stuff. So let me ask you as an artist, like I said, you're a hardworking artist. You do everything by the book for the most part, from everything I've seen you do.
Yeah.
You like to do everything, as they say, organic and blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about that? Basically getting on steroids as an artist.
Yeah. So I am one of those artists that was like posting my music, doing it for years. I've been doing it for years, but doing it for years and not really seeing much traction. And I started trying to figure out how is everybody else. I've heard, every artist has felt this. Yo, how's this person blowing up? I rap way better than them. I got way better music. How are they blowing up and not me? And then you start realizing, you start going down this rabbit hole of realizing they either had good relationships with marketing people, whether they were good marketing, Google ads, Facebook ads type stuff.
That's the key, good marketing.
Or they were doing some shady shit on the side, whether it be streaming frauds or bot activity. I've gone down the rabbit hole of like, I figured out how to get the bot myself and how to run up my own numbers. And I wanted to try it out. And I was like, I don't really like this. Because the way it just felt like morally, it just wasn't good because that's not how I wanted to, I guess, perceive or build my tribe.
But with that being said, some of your favorite artists are doing shit like this.
Yeah.
Like you said, if people like us got access to that type of stuff, then there's artists out there who got a team with stuff like that set up to make them look even bigger.
And I figured this out because trying to just find other promoters to use, you end up bumping your head and realize, yo, you met such and such promoter. They told you, yo, I can help you get 1 million views. And you think like, oh, this is the marketing guy I need to hire. And then you hire him. And then you realize, damn, they just fucking botted my shit. And now you kind of feel like you lost a little piece of integrity for your business because you're trying to promote this as, I'm trying to do organic and blah, blah, blah. Understand that if you're paying for good marketing, that is still organic. You're just showing it to an audience that organically needed to see you, that you wanted to build with anyways. You sound like Jack Harlow, so you target ads to Jack Harlow's fans because you think that his fans are going to like your music too. That's not organic. That's you just targeting your audience and getting that traction. But as an artist, for me, how I felt or how I do feel is that I've been through that. And I seen it, played with it very, very little, realized I ain't like that shit, stopped doing that shit. And then at that point, it kind of forced me to learn how to run good ads, because to run good ads is already it's like a book of science already of trying to understand algorithms and how certain target audiences work and tier 1 and tier 2.
And that comes with the next question. So do you think there's a shortcut as artists? And I think we answered half of that a little bit, but what do you think about that?
So I think there is no shortcut. But if there was going to be a shortcut, because if you talk to somebody that was doing this back in the 90s or early 2000s, they swear up and down, oh, it's so much easier to blow up doing music now because you have social media, which is usually a free platform that you upload to, and you're just getting presented to a whole bunch of people that you never even met before. Whereas back then, you had to go drive to these people to actually meet them, shake their hands.
It was more of a private club back then.
Yeah.
And you had to really hone in on relationships back then, but all right, go on. I'll let you go.
100%. In that time frame, you're 100% building a hardcore tribe, a cult following. But with now, I feel like the shortcut is that you are the algorithm. So whatever it is that you're doing music-wise, you need to constantly be putting these shots up. That consistency is key. Putting up the shots, whether it be the music videos, the shorts, all that shit, that is the shortcut. As long as you stay consistent and you run it up and you want it bad enough, you're gonna find your following. If something starts going, one of those videos or whatever pieces of content you put out starts gaining traction, and you have $50 to put towards marketing, and you know how to run your ads, run your own ads and then double it up. If you are a hustler in the street, you should know this already. You buy a little bit of a pack, you sell that pack, and whatever profit that you made, you go back to the plug and buy a bigger pack. And then you rinse and repeat. It's the same shit with music. If you're gonna look at it from that standpoint, it's like you have your song or your product. You go out there, might not be much. You go out there, push it as much as you can. You see a little bit of an ROI, you take that, make a few more packs.
And to just answer the question in my own point of view, I think there is a shortcut in music, but you don't really want to go down that alleyway a lot of times. And it's like there's people out there. Look at this whole situation that's all over the news right now that could advance your career. But when they do that, under what pretense is that going to be? What do you have to do for these people? What do you have to give up, to get advanced into that career? Or do they own you straight up?
They straight up own you. And
sometimes they own your music. They own everything you do.
You own,
So there is that shortcut out there. That's why I'm just answering the question.
Yeah.
Is there a shortcut? There definitely fucking is. We've seen people, look at Milli Vanilli. No fucking talent. Just fucking, the industry had the connections. They knew how to market them. Just put these dancing fools up there and just had the ghostwriters writing all their lyrics and fucking put them at the top of the world.
Right.
They could do, it's possible. It could happen.
Right.
But do you really want to get there that way?
Right.
We talked about this the other day. There's no more, and shout out Ray Daniels, there's no more artist development. Yes. Why is it when we see these artists from the 2000s and earlier, they have fan base, they can go and pack a stadium right now.
Yep.
But then you see an artist that's perceived platinum right now from the 2020s. It's like 1 year they seem like they can pack a stadium. The next year they're not even hot anymore. It's like, because what boost or what steroids boosted them up there to kind of make their fan base seem fluffed up?
Russell's one of them that can, he doesn't necessarily have a platinum record, but he could come from Vallejo, California to New York, announce that trip in that same day and be like, yo, I'm coming out. I'm going to do a pop-up show that wasn't even planned and it still be sold out.
Yeah.
A lot of these platinum
but
artists.
He's not for some of the artists out there, he's not an artist that we're not going to hear him all over every radio. You might not even know, not everyone might not even know his name.
Right.
But he's good financially and he's got his core cult fan base.
Right.
And that's what we do know about him. If you do your homework on him, you'll find out the same thing.
Yep.
And I guess, long story short, that's where Kaseek is aspiring to go, and that's what he's building for himself. It's not the prettier road.
It's not. It's not an easier road.
It's not the easier road. It takes longer, but there's, we think, more fulfillment going that route.
Longevity. I want to be able to build my tribe. I do want to talk to my fans and have fun with them. I don't necessarily want there to be a weird mystique and that these labels own me. And then all of a sudden, just because I said something bad about them, now there's a video of me doing some wild shit.
Or the house and the car you had that we were renting from the label, that's gone. Now it looks like you just lost all your money and went broke, you know? When anyway, it was all their money in the first place.
It was rented from them anyways. Like, I didn't have it to begin with. You know, like that shit is scary. And I don't necessarily want that. I don't actually want that for anybody that's even watching this video. You know, for some people that shit might just work out for them.
So talk about that on the next, I guess, thing you give them is having an older fan base. You know, I know you said that could come in key to this whole thing. Like,
even if you're a brand new, like you're, 17 years old, 18 years old, it's cool to like do music for your like-minded crowd or whatever. But imagine doing some music that spoke to a more adult contemporary crowd, 25, 35, 45. If you're actually doing something that relates to those people actually have money. So they're actually more apt to buy your tickets, buy your merchandise, buy physical albums if you decide to do that, whether it be vinyl or CDs or cassettes. They're gonna be, souvenir buyers basically. They're gonna show up at these shows where it's like, if you're doing music for a bunch of 17-year-olds and you're making music about hitting licks all day, who you think you're making music for? A bunch of people that hit licks all day and trying to steal shit, and you're not, you might gain some quick popularity and you might get raped by the labels, but that's all it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's another thing is we talked about that before, the music you're tailoring and what that audience is. Yeah. The type of fan base you got.
Yep. But like, not that I don't like that music, so we all kind of grew up off of some gangster shit or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But things also have to evolve. A lot of these people had business mindsets, business acromens, and people that learned about business around them to help guide them into other things. 50 Cent didn't just stay 50 Cent. He ended up started doing film and TV. Now it's like he dominates film and TV. Like, it's a lot different. Like, you can grow from that point. But a lot of these people are treating it like hustling because they're trying to do, I'm going to buy a pack and I'm trying to get rich. I'm trying to get in the music industry because I think I'm going to get rich.
Get rich quick scheme,
It's actually kind of culture vulture-ish if you really want to like dive super deep into it. It's like, you actually don't even have a real place here. You don't even respect the craft. You came in here swinging like you just wanted to steal whatever it is that you could get. You're like a succubus. You wanted to just take everything. Yeah, you just want to, cloud demons. You want to just take everything it has without actually putting anything into it.
Some people just wanted to get famous real quick. Yeah, like that's all they really cared about.
I want a quick $1 million to change my life, even though I don't. I'm going back to the hood. Yeah, and I'm going to be broke.
So that's really what a lot of it is. Take the time to really build your fan base, foster your fan base. It might not happen overnight, or it might. You might be lucky and meet the right connection right off the rip, and they actually really give a fuck about your fan base. Right. But that's, if you're putting up the shots, consistency, what we always talk about, that's what's going to lead you there. And
I don't think I actually answered fully either, because you actually asked me, what do I feel necessarily about being as an artist, what it is that I'm going to do. Yeah. Because you asked me, I forgot exactly how you asked it, but you asked me if, what would I do going up against the same? Because I'm going up against the same shit. Is that the shortcut is that more consistent shots are going to be being put up, whether it be content or music. And then whatever bag that I do touch, I'm just going to be running ads. I might not get 1 million people to follow me like a Drake or whoever.
You might not have a huge marketing budget like some of these people that goes into that money steroid. Unlimited. Who got 10,000 a month, 100,000 a month on marketing. Right.
I might only have 500 a month, and I'm sorry, but that 500 is going to be what it is that I'm going to use, because I not only did I know how to use the robots, seen how the robots work, know how streaming fraud works with multiple cell phones, computers. It didn't feel right, and it's just not what I wanted to do. If I have to trick you to watch my video because it has 1 million views, and you only want to click it because it has 1 million views, I don't necessarily want you a part of my tribe. I want you to part of my tribe because you seen me get it out the mud. So you're as happy for my success as I am. You're not actually a hater.
But also don't get caught up and twisted into that whole like crab in the bucket. I'm not going to market my music.
It has to be free. I'm going to do this. And it's like,
I got to just get discovered somehow and
that doesn't
never
work
market.
No more.
Yeah.
You know, before you could rap on a corner and such is cousins with such and such, they heard you rap, and now you're rapping for those cousins, and then you get discovered. Excuse me. That shit don't really happen like that no more. What happens is that you're going to post those shits on social media. Social media is the equivalent of that. That's why if you look at anybody from the 90s, 2000s, even earlier, they're going to say, yo, it's so much easier to blow up now. It's just scary.
It's also so much easier to rap. Yeah. So when it's so much easier to rap, then a lot of clowns come in, the market's diluted. So guess what? A million people trying to do the same thing, being an artist. One of you motherfuckers is gonna have to stand out and market your shit.
Right.
You're not all gonna just go organically,
you
know, like, or organically, like they said, without marketing.
Yep.
Or just building a relationship and they wanna put you on. Like, you're gonna have to consistently market until enough people know who you are, the buzz is there.
Right. Marketing isn't just about money. Marketing is also the fact of what message you are portraying, how you filmed your piece of content, or how you made a song that was so relatable. The marketing is behind the creativity.
Thought process, you know, creativity.
If you're looking at this as like, oh, I just wanna make music, you're not actually a creative. You know, when you start creating music, you're creating art. So everything in its form, everything is this gumbo pot of creating. You can't look at content and be like, oh, I can't do content. It's like, no, you can't be creative. That's what you're saying. If you can make a song, you could be creative. If you can do that, you could write a screenplay. That's what John Singleton, I believe, told Ice Cube. Ice Cube was making all these records that sounded real relatable. It was like him storytelling. And then he put the bug in his ear and said, you know, if you could write a song, you could write a screenplay, you can make your own movie. That's what suggested him to start going in the movie space. He stepped out of his comfort zone, tried something new, and found some success in it.
Yeah, so to close it off, I say we don't really condone steroids. We do condone supplements, though.
Yeah, healthy supplements.
Healthy supplements, keeping your body right, keeping your mind right, working on your craft, getting better and better, and getting that sustainable growth.
Yep.
That'll last you years to come, have people coming back years to come, and you feel good about it at the end of the day. Like, I built this brick by brick.
Yep.
And this is Figure It the Fuck Out.
Yes, sir.